ODSP Benefits List 2022. What you must know about the health benefit. In this post, we will focus on the ODSP Health Benefits List 2022. Have often been asked what exactly is included in the list. ODSP Health Benefits List includes dental care, prescription drugs, mandatory special benefits like medical transportation, diabetic supplies and other incontinence supplies, special diet, vision care, hearing aids, assistive devices, repairs and batteries for mobility devices, guard dog benefits. A look at dental care. This may include cleaning, tooth pull or any basic dental care. Note that you have access to all of those through your Ontario Health Card, making all the processes less difficult for you. Just go ahead and hand over your health card to your dentist, who then runs it to cover your dental requirement. A look at prescription care. Just like the process for dental care, you can also hand over your health card to your pharmacy, who then runs it to cover your prescription. A look at vision care. Vision care requires you to find an optometrist or oculist who accepts ODSP, present your health card, then send the prescription to the caseworker assigned to you, who then authorized the pickup of your frame or lenses, or you go through a checkup. Note that every 2 years you are eligible for a lens and frame and eye exam also. Know that the process has been designed to be seamlessly easy for you, and you are never required to make any upfront payment as long as your optometrist or oculist accepts ODSP. A look at mandatory special necessities benefit. This benefit covers anything that is medically necessary for your health condition. All fall under this category. Medical transportation is the most common under the mandatory special necessities benefits. Here, the form is issued by the assigned caseworker and given to you. You are required to take it to your doctor, who then fills out the list of appointment dates you'll be having on the form. The doctor is also required to fill in your means of transportation to the days of your medical appointment. Your means of transportation can be taxi, public transportation, or maybe you're going to drive yourself there. Once filled, you have to return it to the caseworker so that your file can be updated. To settle your medical appointment bill, your doctor would have to invoice ODSP directly, who then settles the bill without you being bothered or worry about it. But oftentimes, for some reason, people are paid directly and they use the payment to settle the bill themselves. A look at special diet benefit. It also works exactly like the mandatory special necessities benefits, only in this case, a special diet will be indicated. It is added to the basic benefits. Now a look at assistive devices. ODSP works with the Assistive Devices Program. It requires the validation of an occupational therapist to finalize the application. What about guide dog benefit? It requires the validation of a doctor, and after then, you can receive your dog's food funding. What you need to know about the upcoming changes to ODSP benefits in 2022: the Ontario Disability Support Program, ODSP, helps people with impairments in the province with financial aid and other services. ODSP will undergo some significant adjustments in 2022 that may have an impact on people who rely on the program for help. I'll explain what these changes are and what you should know if you're currently getting ODSP assistance in this post. Did you know that ODSP is changing in 2022? The Ontario Disability Support Program, ODSP, will undergo some modifications in 2022, according to the government. The following are some of the suggested changes. Adding a work requirement to the mix. In order to continue receiving benefits, recipients would be forced to work, volunteer, or engage in an education or training program for at least 20 hours each week. A decrease in the amount of money recipients can earn before their benefits are lowered or canceled. The quantity of assets that recipients can have before their payments are lowered or canceled is reduced. The removal of a particular allowance for people who live in rural areas. According to the government, these reforms are required to ensure that ODSP is giving appropriate assistance to individuals who require it. Many individuals, however, are afraid that the reforms will leave many people without the necessary support. The most significant adjustment is an increase in the monthly basic allowance for single persons from $733 to $1,125. The purpose of this allowance is to cover the costs of basic necessities including food, shelter, and clothing. Other improvements include raising the amount that can be earned before benefits are lowered, from $200 to $300 per month, and raising the amount that can be saved without affecting benefits, from $5,000 to $10,000. These modifications are meant to help ODSP recipients minimize poverty and improve their quality of life. How will the changes affect recipients? The adjustments will have a variety of effects on receivers. First and foremost, the government wants to lower the yearly ceiling on labor wages from $20,000 to $15,000. This implies that ODSP recipients will no longer be able to work as much as they used to without seeing their benefits decreased. Second, the government intends to establish a new employment and social benefit tribunal to adjudicate on ODSP and other social assistance program eligibility. This means that current ODSP recipients will have to go through a process to demonstrate that they still require the assistance. Last but not least, the government intends to combine ODSP with other social assistance programs such as Ontario Works. This means that all social assistance programs will have a single application process, and those who get numerous benefits will have them all wrapped into one payment. The proposed changes are set to take effect in 2022. So, what can recipients do to prepare for the changes? There are a few things you can do to prepare for the changes. First and foremost, you must comprehend how the changes may affect you. This can be accomplished by meeting with a social worker or a benefits specialist who can explain the new rules and how they will affect you. Second, begin setting away funds. Starting in 2022, the amount of money you receive from ODSP will be reduced, therefore it's critical to have a savings strategy in place. If you haven't previously applied for ODSP, this is a good opportunity to do so. The application process isn't always simple, but if you're eligible, it's well worth it. Last but not least, keep informed and involved. Because the government is implementing these changes, it's critical to stay informed and make your voice known. Now, how will the changes affect service providers? Service providers will be expected to report on the number of persons they serve, as well as the type and amount of support they provide, on a regular basis to the government. As a result, the government will be able to assess and change the program as needed. Although it is unknown how these changes will affect service providers at this time, it is likely that they will adjust how they operate. So, what can service providers do to prepare for the changes? Service providers can do a few things now to prepare for the changes to ODSP payouts in 2022. The first step is to make sure that their employees are aware of the imminent changes and what they represent for beneficiaries. They should also be ready to assist beneficiaries in applying for new programs that will be accessible, as well as to answer any questions they may have. To guarantee compliance with the new laws, service providers should examine their policies and procedures regarding eligibility and benefits. They should also be ready to deal with any additional demand for services that the changes may bring. People who rely on ODSP will be impacted by impending changes to the program in 2022. So that you can prepare ahead, be sure you understand the changes and how they will affect you. Now let's answer some frequently asked questions. Question 1. Should I reapply for ODSP benefits? You might be wondering if you'll have to reapply for ODSP in 2022. The answer is that it is debatable. When determining whether or not to reapply, there are a few items to consider. Have you had any changes in your living environment, income, or disability, for example? If this is the case, you may need to reapply in order to keep your benefits. On the government's website, you can learn more about ODSP reapplication. We recommend speaking with an advisor if you're unsure whether or not you need to reapply, or if you have any other issues about your ODSP benefits. Question 2. When will my ODSP benefits be reviewed? ODSP benefits are normally evaluated once a year, although they can be examined at any time by the Ministry of Community and Social Services. Your ODSP case manager will assess your situation and may request new information from you. Any changes in your life, such as a change in work, income, or living circumstances, should be communicated to your case manager. You can request a review of your current ODSP benefits if you are unhappy with them. If you believe you are not receiving the correct amount of benefits, you can also request a review. Question 3. How will I know if my ODSP benefits have been approved? It can take a long time for ODSP benefits to be authorized, so don't be concerned if you haven't heard anything yet. The good news is that applying for ODSP benefits has never been easier, so you'll almost certainly receive assistance. You'll receive a letter in the mail once your application has been processed, informing you of your approval status. You'll also get a benefits card if your application is granted, which you may use at participating pharmacies and grocery stores. Question 4. What happens if my ODSP benefits are cut off? It doesn't mean you're out of luck if your ODSP benefits are terminated. Other forms of social assistance, such as Ontario Works or Canada Pension Plan disability benefits, may be available to you. Because each program has its own set of qualifying requirements, it's critical to look into all of your alternatives and pick the perfect aid program for you. For more information and assistance, you can also contact a local social services agency. Question 5. How can I appeal a decision about my ODSP benefits? You have the right to appeal any decision made about your ODSP benefits if you don't agree with it. Internal and external appeals are the two sorts of appeals. When you file an internal appeal, you go to the ministry that made the original decision. When you file an external appeal, you are requesting that your case be heard by a different government agency. Gathering all relevant information and evidence is the best method to prepare for an appeal. Documents such as your monthly budget, proof of income, and medical records fall under this category. You should also make a list of reasons why you believe the decision was incorrect. It's crucial to note that appeals can be lengthy and complicated processes, so if you're not sure where to begin, you should get legal advice. Question 6. What are the consequences of not complying with the ODSP rules? Non-compliance with the ODSP standards has a few ramifications. First and foremost, you could lose all of your advantages. Second, you may be required to refund any previous benefits you have received. Finally, you could be accused of fraud, which could result in criminal prosecution. To avoid any unwanted consequences, make sure you're aware with the ODSP guidelines and regulations. Question 7. What should I do if I have a change in my circumstances? If your circumstances change, you must notify ODSP as quickly as possible. A change in your income, living situation, or health could be the cause of this. You might not be eligible for benefits if you don't disclose the change, or you might get too much or too little money. It's critical to keep your ODSP information up to date in order to get the most out of your payments. What happens if I move? If you're relocating out of province or country, you must notify ODSP so that your file may be updated. You must also notify ODSP if your living situation changes in any way, for example, if you begin living with someone who is not your caretaker. Failure to disclose any changes in your living circumstances can result in the loss of benefits, so it's critical to remain on top of things and keep your ODSP information current. Now, I'll look at making the most from your ODSP benefits. Receiving ODSP has a lot of advantages, but ensuring you take advantage of them might be difficult. That's why I've compiled a list of 10 tips to assist you maximize your advantages in 2022. 1. Create and stick to a budget. 2. Make the most of your disability tax credit. 3. Organize your paperwork and keep track of it. 4. Take advantage of available social resources. 5. Maintain a healthy and active lifestyle. 6. Make educational and training investments. 7. Look for work even if it's only part-time or temporary. 8. Maintain a sense of community. 9. Seek legal counsel if necessary. 10. Make the most of your life. Now a summary of all that have been discussed. So, what is contained in the ODSP Benefits List? The ODSP Benefits List contains dental care, prescription drugs, mandatory special benefits like medical transportation, diabetic supplies and other incontinence supplies, special diet, vision care, hearing aids, assistive devices, repairs and batteries for mobility devices,